restarts moved me all the way from the back to the pole. So I got lucky, but now once they let me on that pole, I wasn't about to give it up. So I just went on with that one. Anyway, a little bit tight. I need to leave it alone though. Track's slicking off. I think I'm gonna bolt a chunk of lead on that right rear. I'll add about 30 pounds to that right rear. Leave the car alone. Track's gonna black slick off, and I'm not gonna have that high line to get again. I'm gonna add a little lead to this right rear. Maybe I can get it to plant a little bit better on this black track. Oh, hey, one more thing. Check out one of our new sponsors, Amtech. This is where Rachel works, and she's been with them for several years. I couldn't tell you what all she has to do with some type of project planning and stuff, but what they are in manufacturing, industrial, all of that, this is the team of people that come in, do the electrical design, the technologies, the pneumatics, the air, the network cabling, you know, AC, HVAC, all that stuff. That's what Amtech is. They're all over the southeast US, have crews that like fly and go all over the country or whatever. They're helping us put the engine back together for Rachel's Camaro, where hopefully she'll get back in the leaf spring car before the end of the season. Thank you very much, Amtech, for that. I know Rachel really appreciates it. Great folks right here. Y'all check them out, amtech.com. Check them out. Tough stuff. Considering that hit, right there, took that hit, that's pretty tough stuff right there. Let's lay it over to the side. I went in the corner, and the whole rear end broke. I broke that back bolt. I broke the bolt out of the lower, I think. So I went in the corner, and I mean, that drive shaft said wham, and I felt the whole firewall slap into my leg, you know? Yeah, the drive shaft's weird. But it's still connected. Put the bolt back in, it's loaded, go home. Alright, so here's the deal. I sheared off the left rear trailer arm bolt at the rear end housing. And I know it's sheared off because it bent out on the side that's actually the nut side. So it sheared off the head of the bolt and broke it out and shoved everything forward, and that was pretty catastrophic, y'all. On the bright side, I wondered if all the work we put in on this build, we tried to do a lot of smart stuff on this build on the series on YouTube, and I put in this bolt-in thick aluminum floorboard, and it's finally paying off because, man, it's making my repairs. I'm not having to pull my seat out and climb in there and work upside down. But I wanted to show y'all, well, hold on, let me show you the drive shaft. when it broke the trailer arm loose as I was going into the corner, turning about 7 grand. And, you know, like I lifted, and then right as I turned, I stepped on the gas, and when I did, it shoved the drive shaft, it snatched the drive shaft out of the transmission, and then it shoved the drive shaft forward, and of course bent it like a banana. And then my yoke here, so my safety hoop 6 inches back did its job. But this yoke right here, it beat around, and it flopped. And of course it's turning 7,000 RPMs, right? Or some, you know, 5,000 or 6,000 or whatever. And of course it ruined all of that, beat that half to death when it did. And here was my firewall plate beside my leg, and this right here, that's right where my calf was. My calf black and blue. But this is 095 aluminum. Crate Racing USA street stock rules say that you either run steel or you run 080 or greater, and this is 095. And it cut, and that ripped through, and that's where my leg was, y'all, right there. And so, like, guys, like, it's saying 80, and you probably should be doing more than that based on what I'm seeing right here. And I had the safety hoop on the drive shaft, but the yoke was swinging around, and the yoke did that even though it was contained within the hoop. And like, yeah, so like I'm going to take and I'm going to put another plate in here behind this and beef this up even further. Because like, seriously, I know a lot of cars that all of this stuff is just like 040 or 045 aluminum, like body aluminum is what they're using. Man, it's not enough. Look at that. Y'all see where it ripped it apart right there? Like, that was literally rubbing against my leg. If that thing had another couple of inches, it could have just slashed right through the side of my calf. And your safety is your responsibility. So that's a wake-up call to me right there. And that's following the rules, and it's still not enough. Okay? So, I wanted to show y'all that. Having that floor pan out, of course, I can just get right up underneath the car and just reach in there and drill it all out, and it's going to be easy to repair. But the new drive shaft's in. I was going to say, I stayed with PST, Precision Shaft Technologies. I think they're out of like Clearwater, Florida. Great company. Had me a drive shaft at the house like 3 days after I ordered it. No problem there. And I was going to show you something else too. I apologize. I'm in a rush between work and trying to get ready for the Street Stock Nationals. But it shoved, when it first did it, it shoved down into the transmission, blew the rear seal out, and I went ahead and pulled this tail shaft, and my needle bearings in here, it had mushed the back of the cage of the needle bearings up. I was like, nope, I'm not going to take a chance on it. So I got the bearings and everything. I replaced the bearings, replaced the new seal, just went through the transmission, did an inspection on it, made sure I had no cracks nowhere, nothing going on anywhere else. And it broke my bell housing that I had. I had aluminum bell housing, which I don't run a clutch or anything. I got an SFI, it's just a ring gear for the starter itself. So it's not a danger, but it broke that aluminum bell housing. So I got a new quartermaster right here to go back on it. And yeah, so I'm putting it all back together now. And of course it just ripped both back shocks off. Called Mr. J up with BSB Manufacturing. Told him both my rear shocks, you know, it toasted them. He's going to see what he can do to repair. Of course, if you buy shocks from BSB and you damage something, then you can just repair shocks versus just replacing them. So send them back to him. He'll see what parts that he can keep. And then I told him to stay on the same valving and everything. The car's fine. Driver's an idiot, but the car's fine as far as like the setup on it. So we're going through and put it all back together. Hopefully we'll be ready for the Nationals. Just want to let you know how that outcome was, because we really tore up some stuff. Took a really hard lick. Oh, that's one other thing I want to show y'all. Okay. This thing right here got completely smushed in. I got to straighten my aluminum out right here. You can see that where the aluminum got all bent up. So it's kind of it's making it stay curled right now. But it, like I've got a little slice right here, and I got a slice right there. But I mean, okay, I'm impressed. All right, Mr. Bentley, I'm impressed. Yeah, because I mean, I just like, boom. I mean, Darren's car just literally like folded the side of his car into and around my cage on my side of my car there, and all of this just went in between the two like bologna in a sandwich. And aluminum, I would have been starting over from scratch with another wrap with aluminum. So yeah, it does exactly what they say it'll do. So there's that. You can see where that my steel plate being welded over the door bars right here. See right there? So that kept something from coming in between my tubing right there. And then you can see where that left rear, it just smeared into the back. It just ran all the way up and smeared into the back of the car right here. To be honest, I have skirted by and avoided a lot of disaster wrecks with this car. I was probably overdue for one. So, you know, it's like, it's bad, but like the chassis is not bent at all. Everything is just stuff I just need to replace and straighten out and put back together. You know, so I'm in that process of doing that. So I'm going to get back to it. I will see y'all next time. Thank you.